Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone's seeing me okay. I hope my connection is okay. Most likely nobody will be seeing this because I did not announce I was going live this afternoon or this evening. This is only going to be a quick thing. Unless anybody does actually come in and starts chatting with me, then I will stay a little bit longer than I planned to. This, however, it's just a lot easier for me to just talk about all this in first person. Um, as you can see by the title page, I am indeed talking about the TFNation 2025 schedule. This is the thing people have been waiting for, and TFNation have finally published the entire schedule for TFNation 2025, and they've already over this past week or so, they've been kind of like slowly but surely kind of like giving us some pretty big announcements when it comes to what's going on, a part of the schedule, certain panels that are happening, and then obviously, but this full schedule, it also talks about the voice actor panels as well, which are all a part of it. So, without any further ado, I'm just going to get straight on into this. I'm going to talk about the schedule, talk about my thoughts about it. I will still be doing my pre-TFNation live stream. I will be joined by Sam, Joseph Firestorm. I will be joined by Tony, son of SG1, possibly Sam Kelly, aka Silvermoon, and possibly my friend Gareth, aka Alpha Prime 88. I have reached out to a couple of people as well as just and Lawrence as well, my good friend Lawrence. He will probably be joining me as well next Friday. The Friday coming is going to be my pre-TFNation live stream, so please join me. I do it every single year, and it's just a way for us to just talk about what's been announced, get excited even more, and just engage with people as we go along in the chat and such. So there's going to be altogether, including myself, there'll be 6 people on the live stream. Hopefully it'll work because it's the first time I've ever had that many people on. So it could be a good 5 or 6 of us, depending if anything crops up with certain people. But nonetheless, it is still happening, and it's going to be a great time, hopefully. So then, with that said, let's get straight on into this. Let's get on into this. So here is the TFNation website. I will be, just to say very quickly, I will be posting the link to the TFNation website. I will be posting it in the description when I am no longer live. The link to the TFNation website will be in the description below this video once it's no longer live. And so you can go ahead and check it out at your own leisure. You can print them out. I mean, when it comes to TFNation, people, if you're going for the very first time to TFNation this year, don't worry too much about the schedule of like printing it out before going. Don't worry about that, because why I say that is because the TFNation crew, they put together like a booklet pamphlet thing, and it basically kind of talks about all the guests of honor. It talks about where they're going to be located, and also it has a massive schedule print inside for both for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So do not worry too much if you're going for the very first time. When you go to claim your wristband or your ticket, when you go to registration. When you go to registration at TFNation, you will be handed a booklet. Everybody gets handed a booklet for TFNation of that year, and all the necessary information of where to find everything, where a guest is going to be, what time panels are going to be, things like that. All that necessary information will be available in that booklet, just to let people know that I may be going for the very first time. Those of you that already that have been going to TFNation for a while, or at least have been at least once, you will know this already. So just to let people know that our first timers, if you're watching, or if you do watch, don't worry too much about saving your information right now. You will be given something as a reference point when you arrive. So then, let's go. Let's move on. So then, this is the TFNation website, and let's have a look. TFNation 2025 view schedule. So this is kind of roughly how you will see it in the booklets. This is kind of the layouts that they have, like a nice spread layout. So you have the Friday and the Saturday and the Sunday. So first things first then. Friday, 10:50 a.m. Panel room opens. 11 a.m. meet the team. So this is something they do all the time. It's basically just meet the team. It's just a very quick one, probably a max of about 20 minutes, half an hour. It gives you a chance to kind of ask the team some questions, also to just meet them. And just meet the team. It's basically just them kind of doing announcements and so on and so forth. Then 11:30 a.m. It's something called 64 Shades of CMYK. Now, this is something I've not heard of yet, so let's talk about that then. Let me just zoom in a bit more. That's better. So 11:30 a.m. 64 Shades of CMYK. It says here, from style matching 1980s Marvel tones to adding a modern twist to the very latest incarnations of the Transformers, John Paul Beauvais has done it all. Here, the comic book writer and colorist talks us through the many different styles he's employed over the years. So that's a panel. 64 Shades of CMYK is going to be with John Paul Beauvais, and he just talks about his process of doing artwork and stuff over the years and what he's done. So that's that. Then at noon, there's the Legends Pass for Neil Kaplan. So people that have a Legends Pass, it is an option on the tickets. I do not have one for either of the guests at the moment because I can't quite afford it this year. But nonetheless, it is an option. If you've got a Legends Pass, you will have a designated time slot and a day that you've booked it for. So Legends Pass is for noon on the Friday. For Neil Kaplan. Then 12:30 p.m. is Preserving the Dream. Now, Preserving the Dream says, thanks to the generosity of several creatives, TFNation has been able to restore and share some lost comic book issues with the fandom, most notably from the Dreamwave era. Interesting. Here, some members of the TFNation creative team will tell you a little more about the process of preserving the dream. That will be quite an interesting one. So that's that one, Preserving the Dream, at 12:30. Then we move on to 1:30. Let me close that down because otherwise it's going to get confusing. 1:30, Forging Your Own Path. The Forge is a vital and vibrant part of TFNation. We've invited a few of our friends from The Forge to take a little time out of their setup to explain what goes into tabling at a TFNation convention. Tabling. So that's that. And then also 1:30 as well at the same time. There's the Legends Pass for Evan Michael Lee, the other voice actor. Moving on, this is something I'm definitely going to be going to see at 2:30 is Toifu Behind the Scenes. Returning TF Nationals will be familiar with Toifu, an incredible team of traders who sell bots to raise money for the very worthy charity Mary's Meals. What you may not be so familiar with is the work which goes into making their newsworthy charity fundraising possible year on year. In this panel, we'll go behind the scenes with a few members of Team Toifu to learn more about their operation. How do they source the toys? How does it all come together? And how can you support their efforts? So that's going to be very fun. Definitely seeing that. I'm not missing that for the world, hopefully. And also at 3 o'clock, Legends Pass for Scott McNeil is at 3 p.m. 3:30 p.m. is the triple takeover TFNation invasion. It says we are beyond happy to once again be joined by 6O TF and Toybox Soapbox and J Swags for a very special edition of Triple Takeover Toycast. So that's at 3:30. And then at 5 p.m, it's something called Generation Mechs. In this one might be quite interesting for me. So, in this special presentation to mark the launch of Generation Mechs, his account of 1990s Transformers fan culture, James Roberts explores the earliest days of British fandom, taking you on a journey from the dying days of G1 to the golden age of UK fanzines. So that's that one. And then at 6:10 p.m, one film to watch. So this is the so this is the special thing that they're doing called Admit One. So basically, if you've got a ticket, it's a separate thing. The Admit One Cineworld, so go to see Transformers 1 with a special thing with Evan Michael Lee presentation thing. So that is that. And then at 8:10 p.m, it says Extinction Agenda. Sounds ominous. Join us for round 2 of our movie night double bill. So there's that as well. Extinction. So obviously, Sophia Miles is in attendance at TFNation, so it might be something to do with Age of Extinction, maybe. Who knows? And then, obviously, Panel Room closes on the Friday at 11:10 p.m. So that's quite late for the Friday night, definitely. So that's that. Anybody watching? There's 2 people currently watching. Hello to you. So yeah, if anybody wants to come in and join in, if everyone wants to chat, please come on in. I'm just doing this because it's just a lot goddamn easier to do this. It's just goddamn a lot easier for me to do this in this format, so that's why I'm going live. So anyway, Saturday then. We move on to the Saturday. So then it says the panel room opens at 8:30. 9 a.m. is the opening ceremony. I always do the opening ceremony on the Saturday. It's a real good fun time. And then 9:30 a.m. avoid the rush. So that's like early. 9:45 is early access, so the trader hall. I never do the early access. I don't. I go to the opening ceremony, and they're basically just chilling there for the first half an hour to an hour or so, and I will just then go into the dealer room once the mad rush is finished. It's just a good thing to do. Legends Pass then starts at 11 a.m. for Sophia Miles. At 11 a.m. there. And then 11 a.m. is something called Speculation. It says Simon Furman's Asian series is a series of comics is for IDW Publishing. Infiltration, Escalation, and Devastation were incredibly well received by fans. Here Simon gives some speculation on what might have been had the series continued. So there's that one at 11 a.m. as a panel with Simon Furman. Then at noon, it says Chill Out Room opens. That's interesting. That's different. Something called Chill Out Room opens. It says, by midday, we aim to transform our queuing room into a multi-purpose area. The registration desk shall remain in place where it will serve as a general help point for the rest of the day. The area of the room previously used to house our early morning queues will be reconfigured into a chill out area where you can sit, admire your purchases, or catch up with friends quietly. That's actually a very good idea, TFN. That is a fantastic idea. Just a chill out area. If things get a bit too much, that is perfect. Just take yourself out of the equation for a bit. There's a nice quiet zone. That is top idea. Top idea. Very good idea. Then at noon o'clock, it's the Neil Kaplan panel, voice actor of Optimus Prime. Very much will be going to see that. Then Neil Kaplan, right after that at 1 p.m. is the Legends Pass for Neil Kaplan. And then at 1 p.m. is the Spotlight Marcello Materi. I apologise if I messed that one up, but it says, for the longest time, TF Nationals have asked us to invite somebody who has had official influence over the look of our collection shelves. And boy, have we looked out here. Visual superstar Marcello Materi has learnt his incredible skills to comic books, packaging art, and event toy design, and now he's here to showcase those skills at TFNation 2025. So that's that one at 1 p.m. 2 p.m. The rest of is Giant Robots. I will be definitely seeing this, hopefully. Long-time Transformers comic book creators Simon Fairman and Andrew Wildman take to the stage for their special live version of their podcast, The Rest is Giant Robots. Why not familiarise yourself with the podcast ahead of the convention? So there's a link there to that. So yeah, so Simon Fairman and Andrew Wildman and Simon Fairman have a podcast. So they're going to be doing just a special live at TFNation 1 at 2 p.m. So that should be interesting. Then the Legends Pass is at for Evan Michael Lee is at 2. 3 p.m. Sophia Miles panel. So yeah, that will be interesting. And then Chill Out Room closes at 4 p.m. And then you've got the Club Con after that. So, but it says 4 p.m. registration closes. Then 4 p.m. Evan Michael Lee. That's his his panel. And then Scott McNeil. It's at 4 p.m. for his Legends Pass. And then the Trader Hall closes at 5. And then Club Con starts at 7 p.m. And then you've got the Matrix quiz. You've got the Pretenders cosplay. Then you've got the charity auction. And then you've got this thing, which is very interesting. Something called Transformers Non. Transformers Non, the cartoon that never was. Very much looking forward to this. This should be really cool. Just to give you a lowdown then, it just says, the original Generation 1 animated series is one of the most iconic pieces of Transformers media ever produced, but it could have turned out very differently. In the early 1984, when work on the series was just beginning, Marvel Productions commissioned writer Jeffrey Scott to develop a totally original take on the Transformers franchise, including a series Bible and a script for a pilot episode featuring a widely different scenario and characters to the series we all know and love. Fans have known of the existence of these documents for many years, but their contents have never seen the light of day until now. Acquired straight from their author, TFNation is proud to bring you the full story of the Transformers cartoon that never was. Transformers historians Jim Sorensen and Chris McFeely will introduce you to this alternate take on the Transformers and their world. But that's not all. Jim and Chris's introductory presentation will set the stage for this year's TFNation script reading, a special pre-recorded full cast performance of Scott's pilot episode. TFNation has assembled a cast of voice talent from all across Transformers history to bring the lost adventure to life. That will be very cool. Very much looking forward to that indeed. So that's the Saturday and Club Con. Moving quickly on to Sunday. 8:30 panel room opens. Pre-registration is at 8:20 a.m. in the morning. That's the same for the Saturday as well. Also, pre-registration or registration is at 10 a.m. on the Friday. So anyway, so Sunday, everything kicks off at 9 a.m. Well, today at TFNation at 9:30. Then you've got Blockies. Mark Mark from Blockies gives us a special update on the incredible little bots who are slowly destroying our collective savings. So that'd be cool. So Blockies panel at 9:30. At 10 a.m. we've got the Trader Hall that opens for general access, and then Sunday Legends Pass for Scott McNeil is at 10 a.m. Then you got the kids quiz, and then you've got Mining Energon at 11 a.m. It says Simon Fairman, writer, Alex Milne, artist, and Marcello Materi, artist, take a look back at Dreamwave's Energon comic books that we saw and what was planned before Dreamwave's untimely end. So that's that one at 11 a.m. And at 11 a.m. as well, Evan Michael Lee Legends Pass on a Sunday. Chill Out Room opens at noon, and then episode break at noon as well. 12:30 p.m. Transformers Non.1. Following on from last night's showpiece event, Transformers historians Jim Sorensen and Chris McFeely take centre stage to host an in-depth panel exploring these recently unearthed documents and how they were written. So that'd be another interesting. So basically, what you see in ClubCon on the Saturday night, they will be doing a bonus panel on the Sunday at 12:30. So I will be definitely going to that. And hang on. And then 1 p.m. is the Legends Pass for Sophia Miles. And then registration closes at 1:50. 2 p.m. Finding Your Voice. Says, all right, so Finding Your Voice at 2 p.m. says Chris Finney talks with Evan Michael Lee, Neil Kaplan, and Scott McNeil about the process of crafting a character. The panel should give a great insight for those interested in voiceover work in animation and games. So I'll be definitely seeing that at 2 p.m. 3 p.m. Legacy, A History of Transformers box art. Jim Sorensen, author of Transformers Legacy, The Art of Transformers Packaging, is joined by toy packaging artist Marcello Materi as the pair discover the essence of incredible box art. So that will be interesting. Legends Pass for Neil Kaplan is 3 p.m. And then 4 p.m. Chill Out Room closes. Trader Hall closes at 4 p.m. And then Scott McNeil panel is on at 4 p.m. I will certainly be going to see Scott McNeil voice panel. That'll be an absolute riot. All being well. 5 p.m. ConstructorCon. This is pretty cool. Do you have any burning questions for TFNation crew? Oh yeah, so this is basically right before this is basically a meet the team thing, like on the Friday, but this is more of a Q&A. So if there's any questions about like feedback stuff you want to get to the people that run TFNation, ConstructorCon is a perfect chance for you to voice and to air your feedback, whether it's negative or positive, and it's a great way for them to kind of help them make a better experience for future conventions. So that's that one. Closing ceremony 5:30 and 6 p.m. That's that, and then Legends Pass is at 6 o'clock for Scott McNeil, and that is all of that. So that's the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday TFNation schedule read out. So I will definitely say what I am very much looking forward to is, hang on a second, I've got people in the chat here. Let me just move on off. Hey, James Foster, how are you doing? Can't wait for TFNation. Neither can I, my friend. It's going to be a great time. Andy Prime, how are you? I'm looking forward to the Blockies part. Definitely same here. Absolutely. So let's go back because there's a couple of extra things I want to talk about. Now, there's this bit of news which I'm going to talk about is TFNation with Transformers Battersea Power Station. So this is a big news. This is actually quite big news. I mean, I've not actually been to Battersea Power Station store yet because it's in London and I haven't had chance to and I can't quite afford to go all the way to London just to go to one specific shop or store. So it is something I want to do. It is something I definitely want to try very very soon. But yeah, this is really cool that they're actually going to be in attendance. Or something. It says Transformers, TFNation Transformers Battersea Power Station. TFNation says, let's read the full thing. Let me come down. With TFNation 2025 right around the corner, we are delighted to announce the team at Transformers Battersea Power Station will be in attendance. Transformers Battersea Power Station is the world's first officially licensed interactive standalone Transformers store. But I'll try and say that when you've had a few. The store is every Transformers fan's dream, housing toys, comics, memorabilia, photo ops, and an exclusive line of bespoke items linked to the iconic location. Speaking of iconic locations, as if one wasn't enough for them, this summer the team will be adding one more, taking up residence in a special Transformers Battersea Power Station pop-up location within the Hilton Birmingham Metropole for TFN 2025. This is an incredible opportunity for TF Nationals to get a taster of the landmark store right on your doorstep. Be sure to check it out on the Saturday and Sunday at TFNation 2025, where all are one. So, yeah, the Saturday and the Sunday, Transformers Battersea Power Station store will be in attendance with a pop-up store. There's a little photo there. So that will be very, very cool. So that's that bit of news. So, yeah, this is just going through everything again. Let me just minus this. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to be checking out this Generation Mechs panel. That'll be definitely something I want to check out. That's on the Friday. Transformers None, the cartoon that never was. Definitely, obviously I've got my ClubCon ticket, so I'm certainly going to be there. That's Saturday Night ClubCon. And then the rest is Giant Robots Live with Simon Fairman and all that for the podcast episode with Simon Fairman and Andrew Wildman. Definitely going to be there. That's on Saturday. Triple Takeover. I missed this last year. The Triple Takeover guys were at TFN last year, and I actually missed it. So it's a great opportunity for me to actually, hopefully, go along to this time around. So that's on the Friday. Is that it? Next. What the hell's going on here? What's going on here? Just give me 1 second, people. It's being a bit of an idiot. Right, I see what I'm doing wrong. Right, so there we go. So admit one. So I have to mention about this. Do not quote me on this, okay? I do not know what the availability is on this admit one thing at this moment in time. I'm just bringing it up because it needs to be brought up. Basically, admit one is the general access for people to the general access. It was released for it was released before for a certain number of people, but now they've actually opened up access for general access for this. So yeah, so admit one, a general access ticket. So basically, this is admit one panel. It basically you get merchandise. It's a merchandise package and experience that will begin at 7 p.m. on the Friday, running up until 9 p.m. Cineworld. So it's at Cineworld, and basically what you do is you basically get to see Transformers 1, and then there's going to be a special introduction by jazz actor Evan Michael Lee, and you're going to get some exclusive art and stuff like that from it and souvenirs. So that's that. So that's available. So if anybody's interested, admit one. Come on. So there's that. If anybody's into their little teddy bears, there is a walkout Basically, they did last year. They did something called this one kit Casium Rex. I can't even really pronounce that. But yeah, they're doing a brand new one called Walkout. So if anybody wants to pick up a little teddy bear, dinosaur, then that is available. Uh, Definitely checking out Toy Fu behind the scenes. That will certainly be a great time. And they do a great time. They do a great thing, Toy Fu, with raising money for Mary's Meals. Incredible. So obviously Ed Perry is going to be in attendance. I don't know if I've mentioned Ed Perry yet as part of my update stuff. So obviously, so I'm going to go through some of the guests of honor now. So I'm going to do an overview of the guests, just to as an overview, just in case I have accidentally missed out on talking about the guests. Right. So then, guests of honor, we have Alex Milne. So we've got Alex Milne. Basically, he did IDW's More Than Meets the Eye, Lost Light, and Devil's Due, and some Dreamwave stuff. Alex Milne will be in attendance at TFNation. I got obviously Andrew Wildman will be in attendance. He did Regeneration 1, G.I. Joe, Spider Man, Venom, X Men, Doctor Who, and so many others. So I've already mentioned about Ed Perry. So Ed Perry's going to be in attendance. Of course, he's known for doing Transformers 19 to 22, War's End, Fate of Cybertron, Sonic the Hedgehog, Godzilla, and Dungeons and Dragons. Then you've got voice actor Evan Michael Lee, of course, who was Jazz in Transformers 1. He's also in Bleach 1000 Year Blood War. He's also in Fortnite Chapter 5. He's in Guilty Gear. He's in Tekken Bloodline. He's in a few things as well. I know him from Bleach. I'm a big fan of Bleach. Not Bleach as in Bleach Day you bleach your toilet with. I'm on about the TV show Bleach, the anime. Then you got Jack Lawrence, who's going to be back. So you got basically he's known for. Let me come back to this one. Lost Light, Wreckers, Tread and Circuits, War's End, Sonic the Hedgehog, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Star Trek Lower Decks. James Roberts will be in attendance. Known for Chaos Theory, More Than Meets the Eye, Lost Light, Spotlight, Orion Pax, Trail Cutter, Hoist, Spotlight, So yeah. Will you stop doing that? That's annoying. Trail Cutter, Hoist, Starcadia Quest. So that's what he's done. Jim Sorensen. He is known for The Complete Arc. Obviously, he's a writer, an archivist. Obviously, it's not TFNation without Jim Sorensen. Let's just put it this way. You can't have TFNation without him. So he's obviously known for Transformers: A Visual History, Transformers Allspark, Omnimac, and Transformers Legacy: The Art of Transformers Packaging. So, yeah, Jim Sorensen. Of course, we've just spoken about him. John Paul Beauvais. He is known for Regeneration 1, Drift, Empire of Stone, Transformers, Packaging, Stamps, Collection. He's known for a few things, of course. Shattered Glass, TMNT, Sonic the Hedgehog, Godzilla, and so on. And then we've got artist Marcello Matteri, who's artist for Energon, Spotlight Soundwave, Grimlock, and Metroplex, Stunticon Job, Shatterglass 2, packaging artist for Armada Age of the Primes, toy designer for Universe and Age of the Primes, character designer for War for Cybertron 2010, Rise of the Beasts. Then we've got Neil Kaplan, Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm a big fan of Neil Kaplan. Obviously, he's Optimus Prime in Robots in Disguise, and he's also RD Rotor as well in Robots in Disguise. So yeah, he's in. I know him for Voltron, Legendary Defender. Fantastic in that. Star Wars, Visions, Power Rangers, Naruto, Bleach, Digimon, and Mobile Suit Gundam. So very, very cool. Then you got Nick Roche. Of course, he's known for Transformers: Last Stand, Sins of the Wreckers, Spider-Man, Spider-Man: Renew Your Vows, Monster Motors, and Scaring Hood, Earth Spark as well, of course. And then you got Scott McNeil, the legend that is Scott McNeil. I cannot wait to meet this guy. Really can't. Obviously, he's known for voice actor in Beast Wars for Dinobot, Rat Trap, Silverbolt, and Waspinator. Beast Machines is Jetfire, Omega Supreme. Beast Wars, Beast Machines, and obviously he's also the voice of Jetfire, Omega Supreme, Strongarm, and Backstop and Snarl in Unicron Trilogy. He's obviously in X-Men Evolution, he's in Dragon Ball Z, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Esclaflane, Mobile Gundam, Inuyasha. He's in a lot of stuff, yeah. Incredible. Of course, Simon Fairman. Known for the Transformers, Marvel, Dreamwave, RDW, Titan, Death's Head, Dragon's Claw, Robocop, To the Death, and of course, Sophia Miles is last but not least. Sophia Miles, she played Darcy in Age of Extinction. She was also in Thunderbirds. She was also in Tristan and Isolde or something, Underworld, Outlander, Doctor Who, and Moonlight. Yes, so that's all the guests of honour. So I don't know if I've got anything else I need to talk about. Let me just make sure while I'm on here. I think I've covered everything that's really, really important. Actually, no, there is one thing I'm just going to bring up. Hopefully it will show up. Where is it? Let me just give me 1 second, guys, and I will find it. Good shit. There it is. That's exactly what I wanted to talk about. Just to bring it up again, because I have spoken about this before, but I just wanted to make sure it is mentioned and people know of it. Alright, let's try this. Okay, so this is what I just wanted to bring up just for reference point. Okay, so this is what I wanted to talk about very quickly. It's this. If you are somebody coming to TFNation if you're coming from an international country or from Europe or what have you, you need to check your government's your respected government's information before travelling to the UK for TFNation. So if you're somebody coming from, say, I don't know, Amsterdam, the Netherlands, or if you're going from Poland, or, because TFNation is an international event. It's becoming internationally known from people outside of the UK. People coming from America, people coming from Canada, people coming from Poland, coming from Norway, Denmark, God knows how many destinations. My good friend Raymond, who's from the Netherlands, he's from Amsterdam. So, basically this ETA thing, apply for an ETA. So please make sure you've done this before coming, because otherwise you will not be allowed entry into the United Kingdom if you are flying in or what have you. Which you most likely will be from a different country. So just to let you know, this information is on the TFNation website. If you go to the TFNation website, you can find the information, but I need to bring this up so apply for the ETA. International friends, remember you need to have an ETA to visit the UK and TFNation. So this is the information link. Let me just click on, will it work? So that's the information link. Let me just get rid of this. There we go. So this is the information link. So basically this is on the TFNation website, of course. So yeah, if you go to news, and it's in news, so apply for an ETA. So all the necessary information, the links that you need to find to basically get one of these ETAs. So yeah, this is for international travellers coming to the UK. So you need an ETA just to let people know if you're coming for the first time. And that's that. That's everything. Let me get rid of this. There we go. Arrow Fire, hey, how you doing, my friend? Hope you're well. Get smashing that like button, people. Thank you. Yes, please. Andrew, Andy Prime, Scott is the main celebrity I'm wanting to see. Same here. Yeah, just unreal that TFN have managed to get him. It's just brilliant. What's interesting is Scott McNeil was actually at San Diego Comic Con this year because they were doing a special reunion for Mobile Suit Gundam Wing, which is really cool. James Foster, what is the main Transformer you want to get? To be honest, I don't go to TFNation with a list anymore. I used to, and I kind of learned a harsh lesson because I didn't appreciate a lot of stuff I bought over the years from going to conventions because I've spent way too much money. I always go for. Basically, I'm not a completist collector. You know what I mean? I don't collect to complete a line. I'm drawn to what I enjoy. I'm drawn to what I do enjoy. Like if something catches my eye, that is what I go to. But I definitely will be checking out Toy Fu. I'll be checking out Toy Fu, see what they have to offer. I'm always on the lookout for anything Beast Wars related. I'm always on the lookout for anything maybe from Transformers Prime. Anything really that just jumps out at me at the time. I don't have a specific figure I'm looking for, but I just see what catches my eye in the moment, really. Andy Prime, who is your main celebrity you are wanting to see this year? Me, it's Scott McNeil. Scott McNeil is definitely up there. Neil Kaplan is definitely another one. Evan Michael Lee, I'm definitely going to meet him. But the main voice actor guest that I'm very excited for them to get is Scott McNeil. Scott and Neil Kaplan, them two, Neil Kaplan and Scott McNeil, are two of my favourite voice actors, next to say Frank and Pete, for instance, and Tara Strong and a few others big names. They're just fantastic actors, incredibly versatile. They're in a lot of shows that I grew up with when I was a kid. Um, so very much looking forward to very much looking forward to meeting them. Mine is due on Minnesota. Nice one. Very cool. Well, there we go. That is the TFNation schedule. What are you looking forward to, people? What are you looking forward to from this year's convention? What panels are you hoping to go to? I will be arriving the Thursday, the day before everything all kicks off. I'll be arriving Thursday afternoon, probably I'd say anywhere between 2 and 3 in the afternoon, give or take. So I'll be arriving the Thursday between 2 and 3 p.m., maybe max of 4. I'm staying at the Moxie this year for TFNation, which is the hotel literally just next door, like a stone throw away from the Hilton. So I'm staying there this year. So I need to get all checked in there, and I will be then joining people in the bar once we arrive properly. So yeah, I'll be arriving the Thursday afternoon, and then everything all kicks off on the Friday, pre-registration and all that. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on some of these panels because I definitely want to check out Toy Foods. That'd be really cool. I definitely want to check out the podcast, that podcast special podcast episode that the podcast they're doing with Simon Fairman and Andrew Wildman. I definitely want to check out that. The Triple Takeover one on the Friday, I'm looking forward to because I missed out on that last year, so I want to check that out. And then the Transformers 1 thing on the Friday night, I haven't bought my ticket for that. I haven't bought my Admit 1 ticket. The reason for that is, even though I do like Transformers 1, I just need to be very careful with my outgoings when it comes to money. It's just, I've been struggling to put money together this year for this year's event, and I don't have the biggest of budgets. So, unfortunately, even though I would love to have gone along to that Transformers 1 thing, but it's an extra 25 quid that is on top of what I've already paid out for the event with booking hotel and sorting my hotel out and then sorting everything else out, travel and everything. So I'm just having to be a bit more mindful when it comes to the cash side, So I probably won't be going to the Transformers 1 thing, sadly, on the Friday night. But it's okay. It's fine. I think a few people. End of the day, it's there as an option. If people want to do it, then it's there as an option. Andy, what other conventions do you go to? Um, to be honest, I haven't been. I haven't been to any conventions for a while besides TFNation. TFNation is the primary one I always go to every year. However, I have been to Comic Cons. I've been to Birmingham Comic Con a couple of times, the one that's in the NEC. I've been to an event called Digicon. Don't think it's about anymore, but it was an event called Digicon. And it basically was like a Comic Con. It was like multimedia, but they actually did get guests, voice actor guests and stuff. And I actually met the voice acting guests of Evangelion. I met Spike Spencer, Tiffany Grant, and Matt something, who was in the original English dub for Neon Genesis Evangelion. So I met them at Digicon, which was in Doncaster. And then I went to a second Digicon. That was at if it was at the Deaf College or something, it was like a deaf school or some kind of school or something it was hosted at. So I went to that one as well. So I've been to a Digicon event twice. It was called Digicon, I believe. I've been to two of those. I've been to a couple of the MCM Comic Cons in Birmingham. I've also been to a couple local ones in Hull as well, Hull Comic Cons. Yeah, so I have been to a couple of conventions. I would like to go to more. If I had the money and I had the resources, I would like to go to the one in London. I'd love to go to the big one in London, London Comic Con. I would like to go to Star Wars Celebration. I'd also like to go to a couple in America as well. I'd love to go to some of the American conventions like Dragon Con. I'd like to go to Paramorphicon. So I do like Power Rangers. I grew up with Power Rangers as well. So I would love to go to a Paramorphicon. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, so what? When are people arriving then for TFNation? Those of you that are going to TFN, if you're still watching, when are you getting there? What time are you arriving? What day are you arriving? Also, what are you looking forward to seeing if you are going this year? I mean, like I say, very much looking forward to seeing Scott. I definitely will be going along to. Hopefully, I will try and meet everybody. I missed out on getting a. I don't get signatures with guests that much these days. It depends. Some people probably will be scratching their heads and wondering why don't you get signatures? That's what they're there for. But I don't usually get a signature. What I do is I usually go up to the guest and I get a photograph with them because I think having taken a photograph with a guest, it lasts longer. And I've done autographs in the past. Um, I've had autographs in the past and I've either lost them or they've got damaged on my way home or they've just got the sun's got to the signature and it's faded. So yeah, I tend to not really get signatures anymore because they end up damaged or over time they just start to fade. So what I do now usually I just go up to the guest and get a photograph with them, just me and them together. Um, and that's a memento that will live forever. It's in photograph form. So yeah, so all the guests that I meet this year, I will be getting a photograph with them. I might bring something with me. I don't know, because it depends on the situation this year. Because it depends on the guest. And it depends on the arrangement they've had with their agent and stuff. Because sometimes, even though they're not supposed to charge, it's included. I say this in a loose way. TFNation, basically the first signature or the first photograph or picture or whatever, well, mostly signature. The first signature is included in your first signature is included. If your first signature is included in the price of in your ticket. So you don't pay for the first signature, but if you've got more than one thing you want to get signed, then you may have to pay for additional signatures. You might have to pay for a photograph as well. I don't know. It just generally depends. Of what the agreement has been with the agent and with the guests themselves and so on. But hopefully, if they're not being too stupid and they're not charging for everything, I'm hoping to at least get a photograph with each of the guests. I would like because I missed out. I missed out on getting a photograph with Neil Kaplan because I have met Neil Kaplan. I've seen Neil Kaplan in person before because he was at an auto assembly. When before TFNation was a thing, there was auto assembly. There was auto assembly, and yeah, auto assembly. I can't remember what year it was, but Neil Kaplan was there that year. It was at one of the auto assemblies, and yes, he was a real cool guy, real nice. But I missed out. I missed out on getting a photograph with him that year. So hopefully, I can get a photograph with him and meet him properly this time around. Andy Prime, I'll be there Friday afternoon. Nice one. Biophiliac says arriving Thursday for the first time. For a nice one. So you're doing the Thursday, are you? Nice one. Staying at the Ibis Thursday night, then the Moxie for the first time. Yeah, okay, nice one. That's cool. Yeah, we're staying at the Moxie as well. We're at the Moxie from the Thursday through to the Monday for the full thing. So yeah, should be cool. I think Silver Moon. Hi Sam. I think it was 2012 Auto Assembly. He was there. Got my box prime signed by him. Nice one. Very cool. Yeah. 2012 probably might have been that year because obviously I was there. It was my 2010. It would have been my third year in a row. 2012. it'd been my third year going. My first was 2010 and 2012. So yeah, but yeah, I've met him sort of, but I never actually got anything signed. I never actually got a photograph with him. I just ran out of time that year. So hopefully, hopefully I can rectify that and get a photograph with him. Same with Scott, because I couldn't get anywhere near Scott to actually get a photograph with Scott. I'm hoping Scott McNeil will be in the bar if because yeah, well, who knows? I have heard he is quite an interesting character, and he will happily interact with fans after the convention hours. So who knows? We'll see. But yes, but I'm very much looking forward to it. I am really, really excited for TF Nation. I can not wait. Yeah, I just can't wait for it. I mean, this year's been incredible. I mean, the amount of guests they've got going this year, and they've got quite a few comic book artists, of course, like writers, comic book artists, and colorists, and so on. But when it comes to the guests of honor, man, my God, you know, they've got one of the actresses that was in one of the live action films, Age of Extinction, Sophia Miles. They've got, she's going along. They've got Scott McNeil, they've got Neil Kaplan, and they've got Evan Michael Lee. I mean, three of the most. I don't know about Scott McNeil. I don't know how much in demand he is now. I don't know if he's wind down a little bit because I've not heard Scott McNeil in anything for a while. I've not heard his voice in anything recent for a while. So I don't know whether he's not really working as much as he used to. I don't know. But I do know Scott McNeil did go pretty quiet for quite a while. Then he started to kind of do. He started to do the. He started to do. Yeah, he started to kind of pick up again when it comes to like convention appearances. Um, I know that. So he did a TF Con, I think, a couple of years ago, and I think he did TF Con like 2 years on the bounce. Going back a year now, I think last year, I don't know, but he did a couple of TF cons, and then he was at San Diego Comic Con this past weekend. He was at San Diego Comic Con he did basically they did a Gundam Wing special. They did a reunion for Gundam Wing. They had yes, obviously Scott McNeil. He was one of the main characters in Gundam Wing. So they did a special like reunion thing at San Diego Comic Con, and he was in attendance. So that was cool. So yeah, he is still about. He is still doing convention appearances, but just for a while he did go very quiet. And I don't know how much work he's been doing recently. I need to look him up and see what he's been doing recently, what he's been in, if he's been in anything. Unless he has maybe taken a bit of retirement, maybe he's retired. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, how you doing, my friend? Evening. Sammy says, on the subject of Scott McNeil, I'd recommend watching the interview he did with Christopher Niosi if you want to know what he's been doing lately. Oh, okay. I will do. Thank you. I'll definitely check that out. Andy Prime says, I've got 3 DVDs, 3 TF cards. I'm hoping to get signed by Scott. Lovely. Fantastic. Lovely. Aegis is. I do apologise. I keep messing your name up. I do apologise. Hi, Mr. Nosey. Hello. Hope you're well, my friend. Hope you're doing good on this Sunday evening. Well, yeah, I'm very glad and very happy people are actually watching me because I never announced this. This was literally a spontaneous thing. Me going live tonight. I don't usually go live on a Sunday. This is incredibly rare of me to go live. It's just the reason why I'm doing it why I'm going live is because it's easier for me to talk about the main subject matter that was the scheduling for TF Nation. So that's what this was all about. I spoke about the whole schedule for TF Nation 2025 for those that are coming in late. So that's what I was talking about. The whole schedule for TF Nation 2025. I went through all the the times for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that's what this is all about. But it's just easier for me to do it to talk about it, you know, in this format than it is to like save everything to my phone. Then I've got to kind of like do the video segments, and then I've got to edit everything together. It's less time consuming doing it this way than it would have been before. So that's why I've gone live instead of doing it as a video. I don't pay for StreamYard. I do know StreamYard does have an offline version of it, where you basically don't have to stream. You have all the option of the features and tools that you would for streaming. So you can like bring stuff in, you can do stuff all in real time, but as a video, and you upload it separately. You can do that with StreamYard, but you need to actually pay for it in order to unlock that feature. So obviously, I don't pay for TFNation. TFNation. I don't pay for this StreamYard. Just say it like this: EGA's collection reviews. There, that works better. Sammy, Scott's far from retired, but he's kind of taken a back seat, and he'll do the occasional interview. Okay, nice. No, it's good to see Scott is definitely still working to a degree. Then, it's just like I say, he went really, really quiet. He just went really, really quiet. You see, for a while, and then all of a sudden, he just kind of like out the woodwork, so to speak. He just appeared out of nowhere. But yeah. Okie dokie, thank you. But yes, I'm very much looking forward to TFNation. It's going to be a great time. I can't wait to meet Scott. Yeah, I just can't get my head around still. Even though now I just can't get my head around how TFNation have managed to get Scott. It's just, I'm not going to go into details of what's happened in the past because, end of the day, I don't want to bring any possible drama to anything. But yeah, but it's just fantastic because I don't think he's been to the UK that often. I think this will be his second time, I think, ever in the UK. I don't know if he's been to any other event besides a Transformers event, which was either, whatever. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to meeting Scott. It has been a long time since I last saw him in person. That's all I'm going to say. I am not going to be bringing up 2010 in his presence because I don't know if it might be still a sour subject, so I'm not going to mention that. But that's as far as I'm going to say. I'm not going to say any more on that. But I'm very happy that he's going to be in attendance. It's going to be great. Sammy, but it is great to see the schedule is finally. Yeah, it's great. Like I say, I will be, once I'm no longer live, people can watch this as a normal video if they wished, and they can actually see it in first hand. Or you can just go to the TFNation website and look at it right this very moment. Like I said at the very beginning, before people started watching me, if you're going to TFNation, if you're watching this and you are going to TFNation for the very first time, so if obviously people I'm talking to right now have been to TFNs in the past, I believe. So, but I'm just saying, if anybody that sees this stream or sees this as a video, and you're going to TFNation and it's your first time, don't worry too much. All right, don't worry too much about like saving certain information about the panels and stuff and what happens on the days. Don't worry too much about saving it all right this very moment. Why I say that is because when you go to pre-registration for TFNation, everybody is handed a pamphlet/booklet thing with a massive printout with all the days on there, all the guests of honour are in there, a bit of information on them, and basically you can use that to go and get something signed. You can use that as something to get signed, your booklet, because you've got the voice actors' pictures in there. But you've also got a nice big open spread of the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday schedules. So you have something as a reference point So if you're going for the first time, you will be given something to work on as a reference, and you can plan from there what you want to do. So don't worry too much. I mean, there's nothing wrong of looking at the schedule now before going. Of course not. It just gives you an idea, but you will be handed a booklet thing when you when you go to registration. So don't worry too much. Andy Prime says, I remember watching Gundam Wing and thinking that sounds like Rat Trap. Yeah, it is basically Scott McNeil. Yeah, it's Scott McNeil, but he's just basically just doing Rat Trap voice. Yeah. I mean, he's in Dragon Ball Z as well. He's, I believe, in the Ocean dub. I think it's the Ocean dub. I think that he played Piccolo. Yes, Ocean. It was the Ocean dub. Yes, because it's a bit confusing because there's like 3 official dubs for Dragon Ball over the years. Yeah, I mean, you got the Ocean dub, which is a Canadian dub, or North American dub as it was dubbed, and then Funimation took over the dub process for North America. So Funimation took over, but they did it simultaneously to Canada the Ocean dub, and Funimation did it in unison. But there was another dub as well for Dragon Ball, and they did a lot of the films, like the feature films that they did for Dragon Ball Z, and that is awful because they didn't. Let's just put it this way: they didn't do the whole process properly. Let's just put it this way: if anybody's watched Transformers Headmasters, has anybody watched the first couple of episodes of Headmasters? And you see basically Galvatron and Scourge and all them characters, kind of. My God, the voice acting is terrible. The voice acting is fucking terrible in Headmasters. It is literally very, very, very difficult. It is cringeworthy, the voice performances in the original Headmaster dub, the English dub for it, because obviously it's the Japanese show, and it wasn't translated properly. They basically just kind of like roughly translated it, but they didn't fill in the gaps properly. Because obviously Japanese translated into English, there's a lot of gaps. You have to kind of like fill in the blanks, so to speak, for it to basically roll naturally when you're doing it from Japanese to English. They didn't do that with Headmasters originally. They didn't do that with Headmasters, and they didn't do that with one of the dubs for Dragon Ball either, because one of the dub companies that did that, they basically just roughly just translated it from Japanese to English, but they never actually filled in the gaps to make it roll better, to make it more natural. And it's like Piccolo's called Big Green. Piccolo throughout the whole thing's called Big Green, and you got like, oh my God, it's actually quite, it's so cringy, but it's so funny. But yeah, it's quite funny. Andy Prime says I couldn't get past the first 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean some people. Yeah, I mean I don't mind watching stuff that is subtitled. I primarily watch, if I watch something and there's an English dub for it, say if it's an anime, for instance. If there is no dub available, an English dub available, I will watch it in subtitle format. If there is a dub available, I will always choose the dub over sub, just because I don't understand what they're saying in Japanese. I'm not Japanese, so I watch anime dubbed. However, if I have no choice, if the dub isn't available yet, or there isn't a dub for that series, I will happily watch it subtitled. That's just how I roll. I can watch sub and dub. So I would say basically watch Headmasters in Japanese audio with subtitles, because that way you're gonna get away from the awful the awful dub for Headmasters. Sammy said the Funimation dub in Texas and Ocean dub in Vancouver. Yep, very much so. I mean, like the Funimation dub and the Ocean dub. When Dragon Ball Z aired in the UK, it was actually a Frankenstein thing because it was a mixture of Funimation and Ocean. When Dragon Ball Z aired in the UK through Toonami, it wasn't all Funimation. It was like a mixture of Ocean and a mixture of Funimation when they were televising it at the time. Um, I didn't know that till later on, but yeah, it's pretty cool. Well then, my friends, I am going to get going now. This was only originally going to be a quick thing. Basically, the whole point of this, like I just said, I just wanted to talk about the TFNation schedule. Um, so that's what this was all about. So once I'm no longer live, you can then rewatch this if you wish and check out the schedule. If not, I will provide the link to the TFNation website below in the description below once this is no longer live, so you can then go ahead and check it out if you wish. All the information. Um, Very much looking forward to TFNation. I can't wait. I will be back. I will be back for another live stream on Friday. Where are we with the calendar? Come on, calendar. Is it working? Oh, there we are. Da-da-da-da. Where are we? Yeah, there we go. On Friday the 1st, I was just trying to get the date up. So Friday the 1st of August, I will be going live again with I will be doing my pre-TFNation live stream. I will be joined by my good friend Lawrence, my good friend Sam, Triple Firestorm, Tony, son of SG1. I'll be joined by Sam, hopefully Silvermoon, if she's still available. She will be joining me. And hopefully Alpha Prime 88, my good friend Gareth. He is interested, so it might be a good 5 or 6 of us on the stream next the Friday coming on the 1st of August. So if you're interested, I will be going live doing my pre-TFNation live stream, joined by everybody that I just mentioned. So please come along. Hope you enjoy, and that I will basically it's just basically going to be all of us lot talking about what we're looking forward to, talking about the schedule to a degree, what panels we're looking forward to seeing, what guests we're looking forward to, and it's just basically just going to be hanging out with everybody and just having a good time. Sammy says, I could be wrong, but AB Group's dub were not that good. Yeah, yeah, definitely not. They had their hand in Dragon Ball Z briefly for a time, but since they've kind of been forgotten. Oh, right, the Canadian dub AB Group. Yeah, I think that might have been the other one because there was two. There was two. Yeah, I remember there was two Canadian dubs. One was a bad one, and then the Ocean dub was the good one. And then Funimation took over production from Ocean, and it carried on with Funimation. Has Sam finished the anime on Netflix yet? Arcane? No. I saw Sam today. Sam came round a few hours ago. We watched Sonic the Hedgehog 3, the live action film with Shadow in it. We chilled out and watched that. And it came up in conversation. I said, have you watched Arcane yet? No, he has not watched Arcane. He's like 3 episodes away from finish season 2 of Arcane. And I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Arcane is so good. What are you doing? But anyway. Sammy says, no worries, John. Glad to hear from you again. Hope to see you soon. Yeah, I will be at TFNation. Hope to see you at TFN, my friend. But yeah, I will be back next week on Friday the 1st of August. I will be back for my pre-TFNation live stream. Again, I will just say quickly with Lawrence, my good friend Lawrence, my good friend Sam, Triple Zero Firestorm, my good friend Tony, SG1, and also Sam Kelly, which are hopefully properly confirmed, and we might be joined by one extra person, my good friend Gareth, aka Alpha Prime, hopefully. So all 6 of us will be coming together for a live stream, hopefully if it works out in our favour, because I think 6 people is the limit I can use on the free version. So we'll see how we go. We'll play it by ear. If somebody can't come on, they can't come on. I can't help that. But we'll work on it. We'll work it out. But anyway, take care of yourselves. Thank you ever so much for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I will be at TFNation. If you see me walking about and you would like to come and say hello, feel free to come and say hello while at TFNation. TFNation will be a good time. It'll be great. Can't wait. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye.